Happy New Year everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the first video of my new path on YouTube where I'm gonna be sharing my photography knowledge and my journey on becoming a better photographer. So right now I'm standing in front of a nuclear power plant here in the south of England in Dungeness, and there's a pretty epic sunset happening on my right. My friend Michael picked me up with his car this morning, and he, myself and his two kids went to a cute little village called Rye, where we spent the morning taking pictures of nice little houses. The weather conditions weren't great and the sky was totally gray, which is one of my worst conditions to take pictures at. But I always say do what you can with what you have, so that is what I did. And right now the sky has opened up and we're expecting a very nice sunset. One other thing I want to talk about on this video is why I almost never shoot on manual mode and why I don't think you should either. So while I'm looking for a composition to shoot while the sun is going down, let's talk about manual mode and why I don't like to use it. I get a lot of people who are just starting in photography telling me that they only shoot in manual mode, and some even say that they shoot with manual focus. And that's pretty crazy to me, because photography is about capturing a moment, and if you're scrambling to fix your settings while that moment is happening, then you're probably going to miss out on the moment. Well, I do agree that when you're a beginner photographer, you really need to learn how to use all your settings on your camera, and you need to know what ISO is and what your aperture is and what they all do. But I think once you have those dialed down, then it's best to be ready for whatever is about to happen. Okay, the nuclear power plant isn't the best subject to shoot, but the light is really gorgeous right now, so I'm gonna make the most out of it, and I'm gonna shoot over here. There's a lot of houses in front of the actual power plant, and there's a lighthouse in front of it as well, and there's a bit of haze in the horizon, so I think it's gonna make a cool image. I'm currently shooting at aperture priority mode because I like to control the depth of field and I like the camera to do everything else. So I set my ISO to automatic. I don't really care if there's a bit of noise as long as the image is sharp. And I also set the shutter not to go below 1/60th of a second, because I know that I can handheld it at that point and there won't be any shake. So then all I have to do is set the aperture and Bob's your uncle. The light is also hitting some boats right now over here, and that looks pretty nice as well, so I'm gonna grab a picture of that as well while we wait. I really didn't expect the light to turn out the way it has today, because all morning it was mist and fog and clouds and miserable. I just wish I was at a better location, to be honest, because just look at it. Okay, the sun is about to set now, but I'm pretty sure that the color will just get better because the clouds are right above it. And it just looks like it's all gonna get pink. So let's cross our hands and fingers and toes. Let's see what happens. One thing that I really like to do is set my aperture high to about 18 to 20 and get the sun near an edge of an object and get a beautiful sun flare. And this is quite ideal for that. Still not super excited about the pictures I've taken so far, so just gonna have to keep looking. It's always best to know what you're gonna shoot and have a location scouted before, but you don't always have that luxury, especially when you travel, when you go somewhere new. Or have a look at this house in front of those big electrical pylon thingies in front of the power plant. it looks like it could make a pretty cool image. So I'm gonna capture this. So I'm gonna break my exposures. I'm gonna take 3 exposures of a dark one, a middle one, and a bright one, so I can combine them later in Lightroom and get all the dynamic range that I need, because the sky is quite bright and the foreground is quite dark right now. So I'm actually gonna use the tripod that I've got you guys on right now to do this, because it's always best to have a nice steady shot when you are combining exposures. Alright, so I've got my camera set up, I've got the composition I like. I've focused on the house, I've got f8, I've set the bracketing to -1 and +1, and got my timer on. I'm gonna switch off the screen and take the shot. So even then I didn't need to put my camera into manual mode, because aperture priority just takes control of the speed, which is what's important when you put your camera on a tripod. I took my ISO off auto and I put it to the lowest setting so I can have as less noise as possible. And yeah, the camera took care of the rest. Now, of course, there are situations where putting manual mode on is paramount, and that for me is when I want to do specific long exposures, when it's night, star photography. If you want to do a bulb exposure, which is as long as you press and hold on to the button, it takes an exposure. But yeah, that's about it. Most of the other times I use aperture priority mode, unless I want to shoot something that is quite fast, like sports or wildlife, where I set my camera mode to shutter priority, and then I adjust the speed that I want in order for my subject to be sharp, and I let the camera take care of the rest. Just because you shoot on an automatic mode doesn't mean you're not a true photographer and you don't know what the camera does. If you can take nice images, you're a photographer in my book. That's the end of my first photography video of the year. I know it wasn't very coherent, but they'll get better as I do these. I'm committing to do one a week. And I would love to actually go out of London and make videos, but I understand that it's not going to be possible to do it every week. So expect some videos from London and some from the countryside, as I want to do more landscape photography this year. I do have plenty of trips planned already, so expect some travel photography as well. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, let me know in the comments what you liked and what you didn't, and consider subscribing for more weekly videos. Thanks for watching. Did I say that already? I did say it. Thanks for watching.